Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about all 12 signs, what will be happening in the month of February. Now, always remember that I am a Vedic sidereal astrologer, so you must be looking at your Vedic sidereal chart, which is different than the tropical Western astrology. So I want you to listen to your ascendant sign as well as your moon sign in Vedic astrology. Now, if you don't know your Vedic ascendant or your moon sign, remember I'm not talking about the sun, but the moon, then you can go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org, and I have a free chart calculator. Go there and put in all your birth information and scroll down to the very bottom where it will tell you your AS, which is your ascendant sign, and your MO, which is your moon sign. So I want you to listen to those, and you're going to get your predictions for the month of February 2025. But also, while you're at my website, remember to sign up for my free newsletter, and you will get my predictions delivered to your email address weekly. Furthermore, remember to check out my Patreon page where you can become part of our spiritual community and get all sorts of free stuff included. Such a wonderful deal. And if you're interested in learning Vedic astrology, my university is beginning this month, February 6th, the semester 1. Go to universityofvedicastrology.com. And you have to sign up for my Patreon. This is just the most amazing group I have going. And last but not least, don't forget about my Galactic Planner. Now, this is even a better way to figure out your Vedic ascendant and moon sign. But additional with my Galactic Planner, you'll get all of your personal predictions according to your birth chart delivered to your calendar in your phone. So check that out. Go to galacticplanner.com. So now let's get going and let's start talking about the month of February for all 12 signs. Now, if your sidereal moon or ascendant sit in Aries, then this means for this month, the Venus, Rahu, Neptune will be in your 12th house. And this means that things from the past will come back. Old feelings of love and feelings of things that made you happy in the past. But particularly even old relationships can reappear, or just you have old feelings about people and or dreams. This will be quite amazing. And another thing is, with this, you're able to heal and let go of old feelings from the past. This is wonderful. You will have some very vivid dreams. And this means that your K2 has been in the 6th house throughout this past year, which means there might have been some type of health challenges that you have had to attest and work on and heal. Now, Mars is in your 3rd house, so this is a month that I feel like you're going to be learning new things. You're going to want to go take new classes, or there can be some short jaunts or trips or travels. And another thing is, you may find that your siblings may come back, give you a call, be around more. But remember, with it being Mars, there can be some contentious conversations or disagreements. So be aware of that. If your ascendant or your moon sign sits in Taurus, then the Venus, Rahu, Neptune are in your 11th house. The 11th house deals with friends, groups, and organizations. This means you're going to be meeting new, very influential, interesting people. If you're invited to any social events, don't give it up. You got to go, because you never know who you're going to meet. And it could even be something very interesting or a love interest. Now, if you have an older brother or sister, they may be very influential during this month. Listen to what they have to say. Mars will be in your second house, and that's the house that deals with finances and money. So you got to be aware that you're going to be more impulsive to buy things. Be careful that you don't jump in and buy something that you regret. So don't be so impulsive with buying and spending. And also this means that K2 has been in your second house, which can make you very uniquely creative, ingenious, new ideas and thinking. But all at the same time, if you have children, recognize that they are needing more of your attention. And this is over the course of the past year, they have been more needy and need things. So they need your attention. But it is a time of invention and creativity. If your ascendant or your moon sign sits in Gemini, then this is a really amazing time for you, especially with your work and your career. So you're going to find that you're going to be well noted, noticed. There may even be something about cameras, film, or videos. You might be asked to do something in a show or something like that. Be open and be aware for all of these opportunities, because you will have them this month. Now, with Mars being in your first house, you have more energy, more drive, more ambition to go and accomplish and get things done. With K2 being in your fourth house throughout this past year, you've been a little unsure about where you want to live or where you want to stay. There's something about real estate, or that you want to redecorate, paint, or change something about your home. And if your mother's still alive, please check after her. If your ascendant or your moon sign sits in Cancer, then the Venus, Rahu, Neptune are in your ninth house. And this is the house of spirituality and truth. You will be questing after new ideas, reading more about philosophies and where we go. Your religious beliefs become more strong and powerful. Now, the ninth house is also the house of the father, so you might find that there's a connection, a conversation, something you didn't know about your father that's going to come out that can be very healing and positive. And if you're in school, this could be a time of new learning and new courses that really help advance your mind, your consciousness, and you might even find it's a time for you to go on a spiritual retreat or take that class that's going to change your life in a very specific way. And so this also means that K2's been in your third house, and the third house deals with spirituality. K2 deals with spirituality. The third house deals with learning. So you're going to be learning new things you've never known before that will really spark your imagination and really key in some of your intuition and learning. Mars is in your 12th house, so you might find that you're going to discover a lot of things you didn't know about from your past. And some of it's not so easy to take in. So there's a lot of difficult things that arise that you're going to have to deal with concerning your past. And another thing is you might find that it's very difficult to sleep at night. Be aware of that. But Mars in the 12th can also mean that people are talking behind your back. So be aware, especially in the workplace. If your moon or your ascendant sits in Leo, then the Venus, Rahu, Neptune will be in your 8th house. This is a month of psychoanalysis, deep introspection, really getting in touch with who you really are, and making the transformational changes you need to change your life. This is beautiful. But all at the same time, be very aware of getting involved in any cults or things that may take control of your mind. That is the downfall of that. You might find that there's a lot going on with people around you in terms of maybe distant people you know, or people that surround you that could pass on. This is about understanding the other side. You will be more intuitive too. This also means that Ketu's been in your second house, which means there's been a lot of family matters that have been surfacing that you've had to deal with that aren't so pleasant. And maybe this is part of the transformational changes that are taking place in your life. Now, Mars is in the 11th house, which means some of your friends may be a little bit confrontational, and maybe these friends aren't the best of friends, and you're cleaning house from all the old dysfunctional friendships. That will open the door to new, better friends in the future. So if your sidereal moon or ascendant sit in Virgo, then this means that the Venus, Neptune, Rahu are in your 7th house, which is the house of marriage and relationships. So this is the month, if you're looking to find someone, you could fall in love. But please be aware that once this Neptune energy kind of leaves, you might not feel the same way that you do this month. So make sure you're being realistic about relationships that come into your life during this time. But it can be incredibly romantic. So make sure that it's real, and it'll be a beautiful thing. Now, if you are married, of course, this can entice and make your relationship more romantic and deeper. Mars is transiting your 10th house, which means this is a time of career opportunity. If you're looking for a new job or position, you'll get it this month. The only issue is, in your current job, please be aware you cannot step on the toes of your boss. Be careful what you say and do not provoke them in any way. Now, K2 has been in your 1st house, and this tells me that everything about you is changing, and really you kind of feel like pulling away a lot from the world. You don't feel like you fit in, or you just want to escape in some way. You're not feeling so good or connected. If your moon or your ascendant sits in Libra, then this means that the Neptune, Rahu, Venus are in your 6th house. The 6th house deals with health and healing. You might get into some kind of new healing modalities, and for the most part, probably some beautifying things, such as beauty products, hair products, things like that, that improve the way you feel and the way you look. This is going to be part of this month. Now, the 6th house also deals with your work, and it can deal with the people you work with. So do be aware that there may be some compelling people at work, but be careful sharing your confidences with them. They may not be as honest as they appear. And the 6th house also can deal with pets. So, and as I say that, my dog starts barking. So, but it does deal with, be aware, this is a time to really reconnect with pets, or even finding a new pet. Now, this means that K2 being in the 6th, this means K2's in the 12th house. And in the 12th house, this will deal with ultimate healing, but also your intuition is stellar. And pay attention to your dreams. You will be having prophetic dreams. Things you dream about will come to pass in the future. Now, with Mars in your 9th house, this is a time that you might go on some trips unexpectedly, sporadically, and impulsively. But also at the same time, your father, you might have issues with your father. So be aware what you share with your father, and don't provoke him in any way, because he will be much more argumentative than normal. And if you're in school, don't provoke any of your professors or teachers. It will not turn out well. If your moon or your ascendant sits in Scorpio, then this means the Venus, Rahu, Neptune are in your 5th house. And if you're wanting to have children, now is the time, with Venus exalted there. But I must say, if you have children, they'll be really wanting a lot of attention, and make sure you know where they are at all times. Your creative talents are booming and overflowing. Use them for the greatest good. And remember, the 5th house deals with investments, so this is a great time for you to invest. K2 has been in your 11th house, which means there has been a clearing out of friends, but you're replacing your old friends with more enlightened and spiritual thought type individuals. With Mars in your 8th house, this is a time of digging deep, getting to the core and the bottom of things. And yes, you've been researching things on a deep core level, which is truly amazing. But all at the same time, this is a time for psychoanalysis and deep study about yourself. You may uncover and find some things that you don't particularly like to admit, but it can be the most healing things that you need to know. If your moon or your ascendant sits in Sagittarius, then Venus, Rahu, Neptune will be in your 4th house. You are wanting to redecorate, to fix up your home, to make it more beautiful, even maybe anything to do with the yard and anything to do with shrubs, flowers, beauty, you want to enhance around your home. And I'll say you might even be looking for a new home in this case, so be aware of that. And if your mother's still around, pay her a visit. It'll be beautiful. Maybe you're going to have more social gatherings in your house, celebrations or parties. With Mars transiting your 7th house, your partner may be a little bit self-consumed. They have a lot going on, and they're going to be a little bit more disagreeable and not so easy to get along with. They can be a little bit more argumentative. Just be aware that they're not thinking about you. They've got a lot on their plate. So if your moon or your ascendant sits in Capricorn, then the Venus, Rahu, Neptune will be in your 3rd house. And that means that, well, anything to do with siblings is going to be coming back around. So you might get paid a visit from a sibling, a sister, brother, and maybe you'll go to visit with them. But I'll say this, your creative talents are really coming out. And you're going to find that your imagination is off the charts. You're learning new things. You may even go on a short, sporadic trip. It's going to be a new time of learning and wonderful communications. Now, this also means that K2's in your 9th house, and it's been there. This can mean that your father may not be doing well. There's a decline, so check on him if he's still around. But with K2 in the 9th, there's so much quest for learning, spiritual truth, spirituality, philosophy. It's going to be a time of deep, deep introspection in terms of your spiritual purpose. With Mars being in the 6th house, you are more ambitious, especially about getting healthy. So this could be the time that you take up a new health regime, exercise program, something to that level. But please be aware that you're a little bit more accident prone, so don't overdo. And furthermore, some of the people in your workplace can be a little bit more difficult to deal with. Okay, so confrontational, and or if you have employees, they may be difficult to deal with this month. So if your moon or your ascendant sits in Aquarius, the Venus, Rahu, Neptune are in your second house. This is a time that you can make some amazing money. Be aware that there's new creative ways to make money and come into money. You're going to find them. It's going to flourish in this way. And anything to do with family matters, you're going to maybe work with family in a way to make money. But family meetings will be very meaningful. Be careful what you say, but I do think when you speak, it will be with heartfelt, beautiful feelings. So give your appreciation to the people that you love. And this also means that K2's been in your 8th house, and the 8th house deals with deep metaphysics and spirituality. You have been on a metaphysical spiritual search throughout this year. And Mars is transiting your 5th house, which really inspires your ability to learn, and your creative juices are overflowing. You have so many new ideas. And technically, your mind is clearer. So you're looking into things with technology and a new learning. And you love to understand how things work, the mechanics behind things. This is really empowering and exciting to you this month. And if you have children, be aware they may be acting out and being a little bit more difficult to deal with. So if your moon or your ascendant sits in the sign of Pisces, then this means the Venus, Rahu, Neptune are in your 1st house. So this is an amazing time for self-development. You are changing dramatically how you look and how you feel about yourself. You're feeling more attractive, more beautiful, and connected. And it feels really good to feel confident again. And you'll probably change a lot about your appearance, your wardrobe, how you wear your hair, your makeup, your style, everything about you is changing. And of course, this puts K2 in the 7th house, which represents over the course of the past year, relationships have been very, very difficult. And maybe this is why and how you're striking out to change yourself, because you're feeling unwanted or unloved in some way. So at this time, really the best thing you can do is develop your own self-love, and that will change and help your relationships. So Mars is transiting your 4th house, and this means a lot of things have been really changing in the home. Maybe you're thinking about renovating or digging things up in the house, and it's kind of a mess during this time with Mars being there, but all in all, you're working on it and improving it. It might even be a time that you start looking for a new house. And if your mother's still around, you might find that she's going to be a little bit more difficult and harder to get along with. So be aware that she will be a little bit more confrontational. So with that, I have covered all 12 signs of the zodiac in terms of what to look out for the month of February. Now remember, if this has inspired you in any way to learn Vedic astrology, go to my university where you can become my student. Go to universityofvedicastrology.com. Thank you.